Greetings, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. I'm delighted that you were able to make it. This is our annual Martin Luther King birthday celebration here in the School of Medicine. My name is Rafael Ortega, and I'm the Associate Provost for Diversity and Inclusion here in the School of Medicine. I'll tell you a little story first. When I was a teenager, my parents, motivated by their desire to give their kids the best education, sent me from the Dominican Republic to Fayetteville, North Carolina to learn English for 1 year. I lived with a well-educated and socially active black family. Unbeknownst to my parents, who had an idealized view of the United States, I was quickly becoming more familiar than just another language. As the Vietnam War raged on and as racial tensions were at a high point, I learned that in contrast to the Dominican Republic, the racial demarcation lines here in the US were quite sharply defined. I also realized that not knowing your place in this society could have consequences, ranging from being insulted with derogatory epithets to actual physical violence. Being a Hispanic, living with a black family and attending a predominantly white school had its challenges. And it was in this whirlwind of confusion that I first learned about the loud and unambiguous voice of Martin Luther King Jr., who was assassinated in 1968, as my cultural experience was drawing to a close. And only decades later have I been able to grasp the meaning of MLK's teachings. And today we're using this celebration to recognize an important woman in the history of our institution, Dr. Marcelle Willock, who several days ago was appointed Emerita professor in our medical school. Thank you. Dr. Willock served as professor and chair in the Department of Anesthesiology from '82 to '98, and she was among the first women of color to lead an academic department in the United States. During her leadership, she had many noteworthy accomplishments, including accrediting the residency program from which I graduated, modernizing the department in every way, and standardizing guidelines related to patient safety. And we should welcome the Patient Safety and Quality Committee of this hospital, who's sitting next to her. And introducing things that we take for granted today, such as pulse oximetry, capnography, transesophageal echocardiography, etc. They were all brought here because of Dr. Willock with her vision. One of her most remarkable actions was to assure that only qualified physicians trained in anesthesiology could provide anesthesia care following the care team model of the American Society of Anesthesiologists. After attending the College of New Rochelle, Dr. Willock earned her MD degree from Howard University and trained in anesthesiology at Presbyterian Hospital in New York. She holds a master's degree in higher education from Columbia University, as well as a master's in business administration from our own Boston University. She served in innumerable committees on the medical campus. Her CV has pages and pages of those activities. And she was president of the Massachusetts Society of Anesthesiologists, as well as the Society of Academic Chairs, and held leadership positions in many organizations at the highest level. Even today, she's still president of the Martha and Louis DeVoe Foundation in the Republic of Panama, a renowned charitable organization. After leaving BUSM, Dr. Willock became the first female dean of Charles Drew University College of Medicine in California, where she retired in 2005. As an advocate of diversity, she has collaborated with many programs addressing healthcare disparities and the fair treatment of minorities. I am particularly happy to see Dr. Jennifer Sang and Dr. Rola Alani here today, who are walking in her footsteps because she opened many doors in this institution for women, and especially for women of color and minorities. Thank you. I know that you are still an active member of the American Society of Anesthesiologists and a leader of the Wood Library Museum, where you have been featured in the John W. Pender collection of the living history of anesthesiology. You are living history. As Professor Emerita, Dr. Willock enriches our roster of faculty who have made great contributions in our School of Medicine. Her appointment sends a strong message that we value her contributions and that we recognize her as a role model for our students, residents, and faculty alike. Now I would like to invite Dr. Hee-Young Park, Associate Dean for Diversity for Faculty Affairs, so that we can present Dr. Willock with a recognition. Amy, can I please have the recognition? Hey, Young, where are you? Here she comes. Normally, the university does not confer the rank of Professor Emerita or Emeritus to individuals who have not retired from our faculty, but the university deemed that these are not normal circumstances with the appointment of Dr. Willock.
Come on, Eric.